What up, Cosmos? It's your boy, Voice of an Age. I'm going to talk today about how to learn to love yourself. Now, coming from a broken home, I grew up in a single-parent household. I think even just on a subconscious level, you have this notion that forms in you that maybe somehow you're at fault for this. And that kind of stays with you, and it definitely stayed with me for a long time, and still does to a certain extent, right? But what happens is you tend to grow a little bit more introverted. At least I did, right? You tend to trust less people. You tend to be less willing to love and be loved, because that feeling of being hurt is just terrible. You don't want to feel that. So if you eliminate the possibility of being hurt, which is that you just don't engage in any kind of relationships, then that eliminates the possibility of being hurt. But the problem with that is it's pretty limiting, and that introverted nature, you can grow to hate yourself, not love yourself. For me, for example, there was a time there where I just had such a terrible impression of myself. Even if other people thought I was great, my own impression of myself was not very good. Just didn't like myself, hated myself, didn't think I was attractive, didn't think I had any good qualities. And I would cry. I would just cry at night just by myself, just about how horrible I thought I was. And it wasn't until I went through a really traumatic experience where I had some orthodontic work done on my mouth, and my body just went into this spasm of pain that I still feel to this day. Incredible pain, shooting pain all throughout my body, that I realized how remarkable and special I was, how many wonderful traits that I had. So basically, it's not until you lose what you have that you realize how special it was, right? So I think that was a divine sort of arrangement for me to go through. Basically say, look, we took away everything from you, and now you have nothing. So you realize what you had, it was really special. So don't give it up for anything or anybody, and learn to cherish yourself, love yourself. And so it's taken a long time for me to do that, to love myself, and honestly, I care in many ways about other people more than myself, if you can believe that. Like, think about others more than taking care of myself. And one of the ways I know that is, like, when I see other people taking care of themselves, in my mind I think like why would they do that? Like, why would they brush their teeth 3 times a day? Why do you need to do that? Well, it's because they're taking care of themselves. And so I formed this notion that, like, taking care of yourself and loving yourself is bad. But it's not. It's really good. It's the most essential thing, right? Because if you're happy and you take care of yourself, you can share that love with others. So for me, it really starts with little things. Like this morning I went on a nice jog, and I jogged here out to this is Oracle Park, where the San Francisco Giants play baseball. You can see the Salesforce Tower back there. So I jogged out here and I did a 1-hour meditation here by the water. So it just feels really good. And I had some coffee, and I'm gonna jog back, listen to some good music, and then make a juice for myself at home. So these are little things that I do now to show that I care for myself, I love myself, and I'm taking care of myself. And anybody who tries to tell you, like, oh, you're saying you're so great, that's narcissistic, those people are probably narcissistic themselves, right? Because that's what happened to me in the past. Is like, I would do a lot of great things, and then people would tell me, like, oh yeah, he's just all full of himself, all he does is, like, do good things and care about himself and this and that. So I formed the notion that, maybe doing good things is not good. Maybe, like, going above and beyond what you think you can do is a bad thing. But it's not. It's a really good thing, right? Because the only solution that I see right now to the kind of chaotic state of society that we're in is actually creation, right? Meaning like people who are creative and innovative and can create new things, innovative solutions. Because we can rehatch the history and go over, oh, this went wrong and that went wrong and this was bad and that was bad. You can do that every day for the rest of your life, and you're not going to find a solution. So the real solutions lie in being open-minded, creative, and compassionate, which I'm really good at. I don't think I've ever met anyone better than me at those things. So I think my future is pretty bright, and it really started with learning how to love myself, honestly, because you can be spiritual and you can be compassionate and all of those things, but if you don't even love yourself, it's hard for people to buy into what you're doing, because they're like, well, his life sucks. Look at him, he's talking about all this stuff, but he doesn't even care about himself. So, it started with me having to consciously do that, and I do it little by little, and I'm getting better at it every day, and I just think that the sky's the limit for me at this point, now that I came to these realizations. So I'm continuing to make this content because for me, this is naturally just what I do. I've always been like this. Since I was a little kid, I just come up with ideas, I think them, and I just do them, and I stopped doing that at a certain point, like I said, because I hated myself, right? Actually, Mike Tyson talks a lot about this. He had all this fame and all this kind of stuff, but he hated himself. He was the biggest critic of himself, and now he's much older. He's like 53 or something, and he learned to love himself. And honestly, I feel like I'm the same way, and that love, that you have for yourself, it's really powerful. It's a really powerful thing. So I guess, for those people, I know a lot of these people, they're maybe a bit introverted. They over-examine things, think about things a lot, like me. I'm like that way. And you can form this bubble, this notion that becomes like really hard, and it's really hard to break through, So if I could just give any advice to myself and others is, just maybe don't think as much, do more things outside, go into nature, ride a bicycle, run, be active, because the less you think, the less you can allow these notions to form, right? And it's still good to do your spiritual thing like I do here. I meditate, every day. I read every day, but I have other things going for me now that shows that I'm taking care of myself and I love myself. So anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. You guys all have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. This is an episode of Voice of an Age. Thank you. Sincerely, Michael Nectaris, CEO, Aquarius 3E LLC.